Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well, and today we are going to talk about the stock market because I'm sure if you checked your stock market account yesterday or your broker, you probably looked and seen your portfolio and it would have looked something like this. There was a lot of red out there, but also when a lot of red comes out, everyone just gets a little bit crazy. You know, when it's steady green days or big jumps on green days, everyone's like, yeah, I'm fine. But then we get like a little, 1-2% drop, and everyone loses their mind, and that's always a crazy thing with the stock market. You know, when we're steadily going up or it just flatlines a little bit, everyone's all right, everyone's happy. You get a little bit red, and everyone starts panicking. And I wanted to kind of talk about that, and hopefully made a video to kind of realize what's going on and put it in context and. Don't panic, it's going to be okay. So I'm sure you've probably seen this yesterday. We got a little bit of a rough start on the Hong Kong exchange when it opened up, and then that obviously went into the US markets and hit the US markets, and it all came around about this Evergrande, and these guys look like they could default on a few payments, and basically, okay, red flags are here. Is this going to cause a few problems? Is this going to cause problems in China, which obviously if you own any Chinese stocks like Alibaba, it was a bit of an ugly one. But as well as that, obviously then there was a knock-on effects to like the US. Will it affect the economy? Has any US companies invested into this, and will this have a knock-on effect for them? So yeah, overall, one of the biggest companies out there, when something like this happens, it can spook a few things. And like I said, it started off in China, then it actually moved into the US markets. But the crazy thing is, realistically, when you do look into this, yeah, it can have some knock-on effects, but is it going to be end of the world stuff? When I look at it, when I look at companies like Facebook, will this trouble Facebook in the next kind of 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year? No, all companies like that. You look at them and go, will this have any effect on them? There was companies like Gang lost like 7%, and I was like, why is that losing 7%? Because it's stupid. Because is this collapse going to affect Gang? Are people going to go, that Chinese company Evergrande have just failed, but you know what? Because that's failed, I'm not going to put my bet on the NFL match tonight. It's not going to happen, is it? So it just seemed like a bit of a big overreaction to everything that kind of went on. And sure, there might be a few little side effects from it, but realistically, is it going to affect a lot of other companies that seem to have a hit in the share price? No. And the thing as well is, you look at the S&P 500. I mean, if you look over the last kind of 1 year, look at this run it's been on. And look, you just look here, that's the little drop there. That little drop there is yesterday. I mean, it's not much really. And the thing is last week as well, we had a little bit of drop last week, and we had a little bit of a bounce back up. And it happens, the stock market just can't go up. There's going to have to be some red days and some green days. And you look at that in context, and it's pretty much nothing. It's only a little bit of a drop, a little bit of a healthy pullback. There's nothing wrong with that. But, people, this having a 2% drop in the stock market, this happened prior to 2020. You'd get a lot of 2% drops in the stock market, but because we've got a stock market that recently has just gone up and up and up and up, like this, look at this. That's the biggest drop that we've had probably since here. A 6% drop in October. People just kind of losing their head a little bit and just going, you know what? So what? It's a 2% drop. It's nothing major. There's going to be bigger drops than that. 2% drops are going to happen all the time. I mean, some people, I don't know how they're going to handle if the stock market drops 5%, 10%, 20%. Because if you consider that, if you expected a 20% drop in the stock market, you're going to have 10 of yesterday's all in one go. And that puts it into context of that's a drop. That's when you start talking a proper drop there. And I think a few people just get a little bit too carried away, and it's just it's maybe because it's just not happened for a while. But, that prior to 2020, 2% drops were normal. And if you ever want to go through a crash, you've got to imagine that day that you had yesterday. For a crash to happen, you have 10 of them days. So, if you're struggling a little bit, then I don't know what you're going to do when it gets a lot worse than that. And I think what also doesn't help, and that's why I've kind of made this video today, is don't panic, because just having a 2% drop yesterday, the amount of people or articles that had started coming up and stuff is this the start of a crash and everything? This crash that everyone's been on about for the last kind of 12 months, and some people even 24 months, and maybe 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. People keep, going on about crashes all the time, and, a crash will happen at some point. we just don't know when, and no one can predict it. And when you do realise we have a crash, it probably will be too late. I don't think this is a crash, but we'll see what happens. You never know. Anything can happen in the stock market. But I think it never helps when you have like, loads of media coming out and saying, oh, this is, end of the world stuff. And even on like YouTube, like you go through YouTube yesterday, it was absolutely crazy. People saying, oh, the stock market is crashing. We're down 2%. 2%. And if you go through YouTube yesterday, like, look, there's just like, so much red everywhere, hands on heads, mouths wide open. And it's like, what this isn't going to help people make really good decisions with this sort of stuff. All this kind of fear out there and everything like that. And, this is nothing. It's just a 2% drop. And to kind of panic was just absolutely nuts. And to kind of put that into context right now, as recording this video, it's around about 9:30, I think. Right now, as recording this video. But if you look right now at the pre-market, you can see here the Dow's going to put a bit of a rebound in. The S&P's going to put a bit of a rebound in. The Nasdaq's going to put a bit of a rebound in. So that loss that we had yesterday, half of that's going to get recovered today. I mean, by the time this video goes up and the stock market opens, it could go up more than that. It could go down. But it's just one of those things like panicking over 2% drop. If the futures stay the same, you recover half that drop in one day, and it's just absolutely nuts. And I just feel like making a video like, don't panic. This is a 2% drop. This is normal. It hasn't happened for a while, but these sort of movements are pretty normal. It's just people have got used to a stock market that goes up and up and up. So yeah, I mean, don't panic. Don't see all this like the stock market's crashing in fear and think it's a crash and then try to time your stocks. Just this is a normal day, and this is kind of the one for me that if I wasn't in a position where I actually make like YouTube videos like 8 times a week, I would always be in the stock market, and I generally wouldn't check my account that much. Like, I only ever check my account that much because I look and see if there's anything to kind of talk about or make a new video on. But if I was generally like, I'm a long-term investor, but if I wasn't doing YouTube, I wouldn't even be looking at these kind of drops or anything like that. I wouldn't even look at my stock market, be a broker's account, because a 2% drop in the long term doesn't really mean anything. And if anything at all, a little 2% drop is probably a little bit welcomed when you've had a stock market that goes like this. It'd probably be welcome to have a 2-5% little bit of a correction. And valuations catch up a little bit, and as well as that, these sort of drops, these create the best buying opportunities out there. I mean, sure, a lot of you probably been invested at this time in 2020. I mean, how do you people there, go to that point and go, I wish I bought more, because drops are the easiest time to make money. The only thing is that a lot of people might have seen the benefits of this, but you have to go through them a little bit to kind of get the rewards. But as long-term investor, little drops in share prices don't matter that much, as long as you're investing money that you don't need and you don't need for a couple of years, you're all right. The people that I think panic a little bit are people that have money in these stocks and kind of think they're going to get rich in 3 months and need that money in the next kind of 3 months. And if you're doing that, then you're going to automatically put a lot more pressure on you and make probably silly decisions. So yeah, I mean, overall, don't panic. If anything, you should be happy. These great big buying opportunities, really. If anything, so many people, if you go on this list here, so many people have been wanting to buy, Amazon at cheaper prices, Google at cheaper prices, Facebook at cheaper prices. And with these sort of opportunities, you get them, and those are the best opportunities to make money as well. So yeah, if anything, don't panic sell, don't see all that kind of fear that's being pushed out there, and just sit back and enjoy it and see if there's any little deals that you see that do pop up if it was to kind of carry on going down. But like I say, at the moment, the quicker it dropped 2%, we're putting in a recovery. But if you see these sort of red days, never worry about them too much, and maybe consider buying some, because if you're on the Patreon, you guys know I did pick up 3 stocks yesterday. I won't go too crazy because, like I said, last week we had a bit of a drop on the start of the week and then it recovered it. But you never know. It might recover it again, and then I'll be happy with my purchases. But this time it might be a little bit different. We might go even a little bit lower this time. And once again, even if it drops 2%, I don't want to put all my money in at once. I want to make sure that if we go down 5%, 10%, then I can easily keep buying and not spend all my money on one little drop. But like I said, I don't even know if that will happen, because it's only a 2% drop, so that doesn't automatically say that we're going down 5-10%. And this is quite a common thing. It's just that it hasn't happened that much recently because we've just had a stock market that's gone straight up in the line. So yeah, hopefully that video was useful. I just wanted to make that video because I saw a lot of like fear being pushed out there, and don't worry about it. This is normal. And worst case scenario, if it does turn out to be something bigger, it could be a massive buying opportunity, but I don't think it will be, personally. So yeah, hope that video was useful. Anyway, if it was, hit the like button. If you're new, subscribe. See you on the next video.